Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Today we are doing an Ulta haul update. So a few weeks ago I put up my Ulta haul and I wanted to do an update for you guys and share what I think about these products and if I like them or I don't. So it's kind of just a little review of everything that I bought in the haul. So if you're interested, just keep watching. Alright you guys, so first I did pick up a few things from Essence and these are just kind of tried and true products that I repurchased. So my Essence Volume Stylist Lash Extension Mascara, the purple one, I love. It is a drier formula, but I really enjoy it because it builds on itself so well. This gives me the effect that my I Heart Extreme Waterproof does, but it's not waterproof, so it's way easier to get off. So that is why I decided to just repurchase this one and not the I Heart Extreme Waterproof from Essence because, again, this is just easier to get off and it does the same thing. I love Essence mascaras though, so I like the pink tube too of the Volume Stylist one, but for some reason I think this one is just a little bit more volumizing and a little bit of a drier formula, which is just what I prefer. So love that. And then I also purchased the Brighten Up Banana Powder. This is a really beautiful yellow toned powder, especially if you have a lighter skin tone. It's not so yellow to where it looks yellow, you know what I mean? It brightens up even on the fair skin tones or light skin tones, where sometimes I think yellow powders can get a little dark, but this one doesn't, so I absolutely love that. And it doesn't make me look dry or crepey or anything underneath my eyes because I don't like that either. Alright, let's move on to the palettes. So I did purchase the Norvina palette from Anastasia. If you watch YouTube, this is like, Andrea, why'd you buy this so late? I know. It's what I do with Anastasia palettes. I don't know why. I buy them late all the time. But it's so pretty. I love this palette so much. And here, I'm trying not to like blind you guys, but there we go. It is just beautiful. I love the purples. I love the neutrals. I love the warm. I love the pink. I love it all in here. This formula is a little bit soft, a little bit powdery. You gotta understand that you're gonna have to tap your brush off, that there's going to be fallout, things like that. But these metallics are one swipe, you know, like you put your finger in and you just do like this and it is like one swipe, metallic, shiny gorgeousness all over your eyelid. So granted, yes, it's a little powdery. It does perform really beautifully and blend really well. So I really do enjoy that palette a lot. Now the next palette is a little different. It's a little tricky. So this is the LA Girl Reverie palette. This was 20 bucks and you get 35 shadows. So, okay, I have figured out how to use these, but it did take some time. These are not like the Anastasia shimmers in the sense that you can just swipe and they are pigmented and amazing. The mattes in here are beautiful. They're not overly powdery or overly pigmented. You definitely have to like build them up a little bit, but they blend very nicely. The shimmers in here though, that is something I really kind of want to focus on because that's what I noticed. When I first watched these, I was like, oh, they're so dry, they're so flaky, like, this sucks, right? But then I used it with a brush. And most of the time, I do like to use shimmers with my fingers. When I use the Anastasia shimmers, I like to use my fingers. Now, with these, with the shimmers in the LA Girl palette, I would recommend using a brush. So I like to use like this old one from Sonia Kashuk. This is like the small shadow brush. I have the MAC 247 that I also like to use. This is, I got on like HAUTELOOK or something. And so what I like to do, and I want to show you guys how I do this, because in the swatches you might look at them and be like, those shimmers are not pigmented at all. And you're right, with a finger swatch they're not, but with a brush you can. So let me take the shade, Ambition. It's like the olivey green color. So I took a little bit on my brush and I am going to just tap it a little bit. Now what you want to do is you want to do small strokes and push right into the shadow. So you kind of have to like do a little like push, press, and then stroke. Press, stroke, press, stroke. A little bit to kind of really build that color up. This is like a dirty olive color, and I think I still have other stuff on my brush. But as you guys can see, you can get a color payoff. You see what I mean? Like, it's not, you know, just like one swipe, but you have to work with it a little bit. And there is a little fallout because these are a drier formula, but you have to just work with it a little bit, and then you can get a good shimmer. So I just wanted to throw that out there and show you guys how to use these shadows, because I think that's important to show. I am wearing this palette today, and so what I did is I have Fantasize. I started off kind of in my crease just as a good base. This is a really good transition shade if you have light skin tone. I did a little of Destiny in the crease, that's the orange. I did a little bit of Dynamo, which is the red. And then on the lid, I have Duchess on the outer corner. And I have Majesty, which is the light gold, on the inner corner. And what else did I do? Oh, I think I did a little bit of, what is that? Aspire, which is like the matte brown, on the outer corner. So that's kind of how I use this palette today. And I also used the shimmers wet with a brush. So let me show you that as well. I just took my CoverGirl what is this? Look Lock-Up spray. Oh my god, I couldn't talk for a second. Okay, I'm going to take the same brush and just kind of clean it off. And let me take the same shade I used. So I used Ambition, which is like a dirty olive color. And I'm going to take it again. And let me show you guys. So what I do is I take the brush and I kind of like push it in there a little bit. I like kind of really get the brush like, you know, really soaked in with product, and I, you know, give it a little work to it. And I do tap it off because you do have some fallout. And then you just spray it once, and then let me show you. It's a little easier to work with. It's a little bit faster. It's a little bit more intense. So I don't think these are bad shadows. I think you have to work with them a little bit more than you do the Anastasia. But again, this is 35 shadows for $20, and the Anastasia is like 42 for like what, 12, 16? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 shades. So I don't know. I think you could just kind of like pick whatever you want. You know, obviously if you want to save some money, I don't think this is a terrible palette. I just think you have to work with it a little bit more. But I mean, I love the way my look turned out today. I think it's beautiful. So I don't think we should write off palettes that are not just one swipe pigmentation and just like so creamy and just able, you know, it's just, sometimes there's just different formulas, and sometimes you have to work a little bit more and build something up. And if you are someone who you like to do more natural looks, this is the kind of palette that you'll like, because it's not going to be really intense right off the bat. You can build it up slowly and manipulate these shadows a little bit more than you can the Anastasia, that are really pigmented, that are really creamy, and you know, they have a little bit of fallout because they're so blendable and things like that. These you might have to work with a little bit more, but you can build them up and get really pretty looks. I will say there is one dud in the palette that I could not make work, and it is this silver shade over here in the shade Future. This is just so not workable. It is so dry, so flaky, and yeah, so that's a complete dud. And I mean, don't get me wrong, these blues are not so intensely beautiful blues. These, you know, the purples aren't like, whoa, so purple and gorgeous. But you can get beautiful looks with this palette, and you just have to work with it a little bit more. Now, I will say that I did test this alongside my iLux quads from them. And I think that the shimmers in the Reverie palette are a little bit drier than the shimmers in here. These still take some building up, but not as much as the Reverie palette does. So that's just something to kind of be aware of too. And again, the mattes are not like overly powdery and overly pigmented. You have to build them up a little bit. But I do think it's a good palette, and I think you can definitely make it work. I don't think it's something that's an absolute favorite of mine, but it is workable, and I just would hate for someone to get this, swatch it with their finger, and then completely write it off. You know what I mean? I think you can definitely make it work if you use, you know, a brush and you know how to apply the shimmers. I think you can get really pretty looks. All right, let's go on to the lip sets that I purchased. So I did get one from Dose of Colors. This was the mini gloss set that they put out. It's like the Glossy Wonderland or something. And I like this. However, some of you commented in that video the Ulta haul that I did and were like, I feel like that formula is different than the regular. And I agree with you. I think it is. Let me get out my, okay, so this is Messy Bun from Dose of Colors. First of all, the doe foot in the minis are completely different. They are more of like a chair style, you know, where they like kind of scoop, where the full-sized ones are a flat paddle style doe foot. So it's completely different doe foot. They don't have the same like vanilla scent as the full-size ones do. Yeah, not at all. These don't have any scent to them. And they are just different. They're thicker. They're a little bit more of like a lip lacquer, not necessarily a lip gloss. And that is what I love about these glosses. The one in Messy Bun that I have, the full size, it's like a, it's creamy, but not, and you have color, but I don't know. It just goes on the lips a little bit differently than this one does. So let me show you one of the, yeah, like when I was putting on, when I was swatching Messy Bun, it was very like glidey and I felt like it was a little bit more jelly. This one, it was like a little bit thicker. It didn't necessarily tug, but it did a little bit more than the original. So I think it's a little bit of a different formula. I don't think it's the exact same. However, I don't think it's bad. It's just different. This has a little bit more creaminess, a little bit more color. It's a little thicker on the lips, but it's not bad by any means. I don't love the color I just swatched, which is Photo Op. On me, it just kind of looks orangey and weird, but the other three colors I really like. You get Naughty, which is a little bit of a deeper nude. You get Dress Up, which is a little bit of a pinky peach nude. And then you get Angel, which I really like. It's kind of just a pure nude with a little bit of peachy brown to it. So overall, I don't think it's a bad set. I just think that if you're expecting to get the full-size formula, you might be like, oh, it feels a little different. Not like super noticeable, but if you're like me and you were really sitting down like thinking about it and comparing it, it is a little bit different. Just want to throw that out there. Not bad, just different. Alright, and the last thing that I got was this little lip trio from Julep. Can I just say that I think Julep is a really underrated brand? Like, I don't think they get enough love because these lip products are amazing. First of all, it was $29 and you get 2 full-sized lip products, and then this one isn't the full size, I don't think. Let me check my notes, but it's definitely a generous size. Yeah, so it's not the same size, but it's definitely, as a full-size one, but it's definitely like not a bad size at all. It's not like just a little sample that you can use once, so there's definitely a lot of product in here. So let's talk about the gloss first. This is the Ultra Hydrating Lip Gloss in all the feels. This is a really light peachy nude. I have it on today over this Flower Beauty lip liner in Toffee. I wanted a glossy lip, but I also wanted it to kind of stay on, so that's why I paired these two together. I just filled my lips in all the way with this and then put this on top. This lip gloss formula is so comfortable, you guys. This is a really nice light peach scent, and I'm not sure if all of them smell this way or if they all smell differently, but I love this gloss. It is so, it has like a little bit of fine shimmer in it, which I didn't really realize until I was touching up one day in the car and I saw it in the natural light and I was like, oh, there's shimmer in that, because it doesn't really translate onto the lips. It just gives you this really beautiful, like, just glossy, wet look, and I love that so much. This is definitely not like super pigmented. You don't get this exact color on your lips. It's more of a nude, to be honest. But I love the doe foot of this. It is so cool. It's like a little hourglass shape and then one side is slanted. I just think that's so different and cool looking. And I love the formula of this because it doesn't feel heavy on the lips. I don't know how to explain it, but it feels very light and very hydrating on the lips, and I like it because you don't get goopy right here. You know, like it's not so thick to where it looks really gross throughout the day. And it's just a beautiful gloss. This feels so hydrating on the lips. Like I put this on and I'm like, oh, I feel like my lips are like, thank you, Andrea, thank you. Because it's like, it's just so good. I think this is so underrated. I think these are newer to the line. And I am like, they're on my radar. I kind of want more colors. Just saying. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the matte lip mousse. You get the shade Say Hello in the set. And this, again, cool doe foot. It's like a little hourglass. It doesn't have the same slant as the lip gloss does. It's just like a little ball on the end. And when I first opened it, I was like, how is that gonna work? it actually works quite well. You can really carve it out the lips more than you think you can with this. This is a really good formula. Again, it doesn't feel heavy on the lips because it's a mousse type of texture. Sometimes with liquid lipsticks that are truly liquid and then they dry down matte, you can feel them on your lips. You feel a layer of product on your lips. With this one, you don't. Because it's a mousse, it feels really light on the lips and it kind of just feels like you're wearing nothing, but you obviously have a lot of color on your lips because it does give you a ton of color. Just a heads up on that, but I absolutely adore this formula. I think it's really, really nice. All right, last but not least, let's talk about the It's Balm Lip Crayon in the shade Vintage Mauve Cream that came in the set. So this is interesting because it kind of came with like a little dot in the center. I think it's like a hydrating middle or something. So easy. I mean, these are so easy. This is like a tinted balm. It's not too tinted. I can throw this on without a mirror. So it's not so tinted to where I have to make sure I have a mirror and I'm applying it like, you know, perfectly because the color's going to get everywhere. This is just such a nice shade that you can just kind of throw it on and you're good to go. Again, it's not the full size, but it is a really generous size. This kind of lasts as long as like a typical balm would. You know, it's not going to last forever, but it's not going to wear off super quick. It definitely, you know, after you eat and drink, you know, a lot, you're going to have to reapply, but it feels really good when you do. It's not overly shiny and it's not overly matte. It's just kind of a nice cream finish that's really easy to wear. So I love all three of those products that came in that little lip set from Julep. Totally think that brand is underrated for sure, especially when it comes to lip products. Alright you guys, that is it for this Ulta haul update. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think about any of these products if you have tried them. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!